What up guys, we got a 2007 Honda Civic here. What we're going to do today is change the front brake pads, so obviously driver and passenger. Let's get on to it. First thing we're going to do is obviously put your rubber stoppers there in the back so the car doesn't move, and we'll jack this car up and get on to it. So before we jack the car up, what we're going to do is break the bolts, so open them up. So we got 5 lug nuts here. We're going to easily just snap it open. There we go, got one open here. We'll do all 5 and then we're going to jack it up next. Alright, so make sure you're definitely right under the weld of the car there, right? So you want to jack up on that seam where the weld is. I'll quickly show you where that is. Right here. This little weld right here. All the way down it goes. You want to make sure that you are positioned right above that. So I think I'm pretty much right there. Right above here. Alright, let's jack this baby up. See, the car wheel does spin, right? You want to make sure that you have the rubber stoppers, because if you do not, this car will actually move forward. So make sure you have the stoppers there. That's probably pretty good. Alright, let's get the jacks down underneath there. And it doesn't even fit. It's got to go a little bit higher. Let's get the jack stands under here. Yeah, it should be pretty good. And this is pretty much off the ground. I got this like impact drill here. It's not that strong. It's actually pretty strong for what I need it for. So we're just gonna unbolt everything one by one. So we got the lug nuts off. I want to just say, if you don't have an impact drill or something that can kind of work like this, you can just really use the breaker bar. Once you're loose, you just spin with your hand. It comes off pretty quick. I mean, it takes a bit more time than this, but it works. All right, so let's take off the wheel. Alright, it should come right off. Perfect. Let's roll this big guy up here. And let's put it down. Alright, we got the brake pads, or the rotor, sorry, brake pads over here. This is very similar as a lot of cars have. We got 2 bolts here, we got one over here, and we got one right there. We got one over here, and one over here. So what you want to do is you want to break those open. Definitely don't strip these bolts. You're gonna have a really hard time. All right, let's get on to it. You want to get the 14mm one here, because both these bolts are 14mm. What I would do, easiest thing is you kind of put this right here and make sure you're in the right, obviously, settings to open it. Take a hammer and hit it right where my fingers are. It should break it right free pretty quick. There we go. Do the same thing at the bottom for the bottom nut. So we got both the nuts off here, the top and bottom. Next we're gonna do is open up the housing here. So take this off. Might be a little bit snug. Pull it off. Easy peasy. Let's flip it over a bit, and we're gonna hang it on the strut. Kind of hard to do one-handed, but there we go. Perfect. So you want to make sure you don't want this to fall, because the brake lands are right here and they're very sensitive, so this should be good. Sometimes what I do is I take a string and I tie it through this loop here into the strut spring, whatever it's called. There you go. And we got the brake pads, so they're pretty thin. I'll show you how pretty bad they are. There we go. Look at that. These are like flat as they can be. Like, they're actually beyond gone. So I'm glad I'm changing these now. And let's get on to it. There we go. Perfect. The rotors are alright. I mean, they're a bit worn, but it should be fine. Let's pop off the clips here. Wow, they're really in there. Nice, there we go. Clips are off. And the top clips off. So what I usually do, I kind of brush up this entire space, just clean it out, get all this rust and debris out, because all this brake pad dust is all over the place. In the back as well. Watch these. Same for the top. Just gonna do it right there. Perfect. So what really helps sometimes is brake cleaner. So I'm going to spray those exact spots that I cleaned off. Just a bit of spray. clean this off a little bit. There you go. To the back and the top. There we go, look at that. Alright guys, so quick tip. This is the old brake pad that came off. This is that little clip that's supposed to squeak. This car was not squeaking. I just felt I had to change the brake pad because they're really soft when you press the brake. And you can tell, if you look carefully, the little piece there, it hasn't engaged yet on the rotor, hence it didn't squeak. But check this out. Look how flat this is. It's inclined. It's thicker on this side and way, like, pretty much gone on the right side. So what that tells me that this is worn unevenly, and what that might mean is that these little springs here that are supposed to move might be stuck, or you know, something wrong with them, because this is moving a bit more stiff. This is a bit stiff here. This is really free to move. So I almost wondered, you know, if this was being pushed the right way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out, we're going to check the grease. I'll pull it off right now to show you guys. There we go. That's pretty greasy. There's a lot actually grease on it. We'll add some more just in case, but this looks okay. Yeah, let's see the bottom one now. And this has more grease on it, like as you can tell, than the first one. So we'll definitely put some more grease in here, and then we'll go from there. So you can use any grease you want specifically, but it has to be, you know, heavy duty, you know, high temperature, high pressure, something that definitely withholds. Like this is pretty good actually. This is on sale, so I got it. Sometimes you have like silicone brake grease and stuff like that. You see like tubes of. That's fine too. Just make sure that, you know, it's heavy duty, high pressure, high temperature as well. So we're gonna take this out. We're just gonna simply dip it in there. Not much, just a little bit. That's more than enough, to be honest. And just push it in, and there we go. So we've got a excess grease there. It's fine. Just push it inside. That happens from time to time. There we go. So the boot is back onto the whatever this housing thing is, and that should be fine. Let's take the next one off. All right, this came off. We will dip it in. This doesn't really need it, but we'll just put a little bit of it. That's perfect. Let's put it back into its slot. And push it in. The boot goes on it. There we go. Shake it up a little bit. Shake it up a little bit. It's definitely smoother than before. It's pretty good. Clean it off, and we're good to go. Alright guys, we got the new part here. Brake pads, pop them open. We got our hardware, which is great, and we got our brake pads. This is a pair. So what we're going to do is definitely check this is the correct size. I'm going to put them on top of each other, and they look like a perfect fit. Okay, let's open them up. So we got the hardware here. We're going to put this on. Since I cleaned them, it's going to fit like a glove, but what happens sometimes is you have to really make sure that they click into place, like that clicked, and the back part there too. Perfect. Look at that, all in. And let's do the top part. And it's like that, it's clicked in. Alright, so we got the new brake pad, let's install them in. This is nice and clean, the surface should be good. We're gonna put it in on one side and then slide the other side in like that. This is in. Usually you want them to be like, you know, pretty smooth. This is fine. This slides. There's paint on each side, so this shouldn't be a problem. Sometimes if they are too big, this will be very, very tight to put in, and it's going to be an issue. You definitely want to file down these edges right there. So I'll show you another one. So if this is too tight, you want to file this edge down. You want to file this edge down. You definitely want to make sure that this is smooth. So when I install the back one too, make sure that's smooth. This is fine. It's good. Let's do the back one now. Look at that. Slid in like a glove. Perfect. Yeah, so this is pretty good to go. Next up, what we're going to do is we're going to compress this piston right here. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to take this off its housing, put it down, just like that. Make sure it doesn't fall. We're going to take our old brake pad right here, push it against the piston part, And what we're gonna do is take our C-clamp. We have a giant C-clamp here. We're gonna put it on one end over there and one end over here. So this is obviously big right now. I gotta open this up. All we do is we rotate this guy here, rotate this up, and it'll get pushed in. Alright, that's it. This came off. Take this off, and the piston is all the way in the back. I'll show you. It got pushed all the way in, and all we could do is flip this over and slide it over, just like so. Look at that. This is in. What I like to do sometimes is put some grease on these, some WD-40 on the screws that are going to go into here. Just helps a little bit. I mean, this isn't rust, it comes right off in one shot, so it helps. Keeps it all nice and clean. Look how shiny this is. Super clean, no rust. Alright, so we're gonna use my other hand, prop this up, make sure this aligns to the hole, and then we're gonna put it in. Alright guys, though, I put the 2 screws in. This is hand tightened. Now I'm going to use the socket wrench and tighten this guy up. It's a little bit snug there. Not done yet. Let's do the bottom one. This is very loose. There we go. What I like to do is just really use one hand and push this really hard down to tighten this up. So I'm going to push really hard now. There we go. That's pretty good. Alright. Let's get this going. This is pretty hard to tighten. Alright, so the top one, this is pretty tight. Perfect. What helps sometimes is you take a little hammer and a little bit of a tap just for good measure. This is kind of, see how loose this is? It's because the piston's all the way pushed back, so you can expect this right here. It's no problem. I'm gonna tighten this up a little bit more. That's good. It's on it. Perfect. So this is good to go. We got the brake pads in there. This is still a bit loose. You're gonna feel like this slides back and forth, if you can see that. This is because the piston's all in the back, right? So how to get rid of this, or how to fix this, not fix it, but make this more stiff, is you get into the car and you want to pump the brakes. Pump it like a couple times. You'll feel the brake get stiff, and that will pump the piston back into its place, and it's gonna be super tight and back to normal. Alright, so we got the tire back up. We got the lug nuts. We'll put them on. What I did is actually I spray a little bit more WD-40 on the lug nuts. Sometimes people say, oh no, that's going to affect the torque. They shouldn't do that. Honestly, I've been doing it for 4 years on every single of my car. It actually helps the threads be clean, the lug nuts go on properly. I torque it to 80 foot-pounds. I think this car is, I believe it's 80 as well actually. So this car is 80 foot-pounds. No issues at all there. Alright guys, so now we're at the bolt pattern stage. What you want to do is do a very specific pattern, right? You want to go from, pick one bolt, doesn't matter. Let's put the top one. I always do the top. 1, 2, because you're going across. 3, 4, 5. So you're making a star basically. Always across, see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get that on. So this impact wrench isn't actually that strong. It's perfect to get this snug. There's still a lot more left to get to 80 foot-pounds, so I'm going to jack the car down, and we will, torque these to 80 foot-pounds. All these right here. Same exact thing, bolt pattern. We want to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. Alright, so let's take out the jack stand, and we will pump this down, or just release it, I guess. And this thing should slowly come down. There we go. Alright, so we got our torque wrench here. It's set to 80 foot-pounds. What we're going to do is torque these nuts to 80 foot-pounds. So let's get the first one. We got the top one here. You want to do a little slowly, right? You want to do a little bit, like a little push at the top, a little push at the bottom. You want to go across, obviously. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are all done. We're good to go. Do the exact same thing on the passenger side, right? So on the other side, follow the exact same steps. It's the exact same process. Once you're done that, you're good to go. You change your brake pads. Alright guys, this is AJ Auto checking out. We are done with the brake pads. We did the driver and passenger side. We're done for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Have any questions, let me know and I'm happy to answer them. Peace. Take care.